Weirdo echo.
Unless it's coming out of my LVX, I don't want it to be weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we're good.
We good?
Yeah,
We're live?
We are.
We're on? Yahoo!
We got Dastardly Dave's the first one.
Dastardly Dave's first one in the house. What's happening, everybody? Ike from Flipside Music. Welcome to What the F.A.Q, weekly question and answer show. But we're actually like testing pedals and stuff, and you guys can ask us questions, stuff like that. For those of you guys that are new, if my voice sounds exceptionally warming this week, it's because
I got my sexy voice.
Yeah, it's not because I'm trying out my new radio voice, or
Yeah.
or I put a parametric EQ to my voice.
Added a
Coder.
grit control.
Yeah, it's because for those of you guys know, I was out last week sick, and then this week, this thing's still lingering a bit. Lingering a bit. And as always, I'm sorry, I'm here with
Oh, yes, Dylan.
Dylan is here with me. And we are going to be going through some jam pedals, but we'll first do our little shuck and jive, talk about some stuff that happened this week, and then we'll jump in. And we have Jacob over here manning the controls and running the show. He's in the cockpit over there, flying this thing. Hoping for a soft landing.
Yes. Yeah.
And we're playing around with some Fenders here today too.
Yeah,
There's a good reason.
there is this time.
Dylan's like, this time there is a good reason.
Yes.
That one's a nice. I like that
It
color.
actually, I was gonna say, I'm not, normally a red guy, but this one was actually pretty sharp.
That's candy
And
apple.
I was
Red.
gonna say, it actually works on camera a little better too.
Yeah, it's one of them stage guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah. A strange twist of fate. You got the maple one, and I got the rosewood.
Yeah, I
Or the
know.
Palfaro, I think. I believe this one is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the reason we are playing the Fenders, we should get into it. We're both a little tired, so things are
Yeah,
not going to be
so-
clicking as fast as usual. But most of the Player Series, or what is now, I guess, Player Series 1,
Yes.
is now on sale down to, is it $6.79?
$6.79.
Yeah.
That's like stupid prices. It's almost like Fender could have sold them for that price the whole time. Anyway, that could just be the cold medicine talking. Anyway.
It's just the Dayquil.
Right, that could be the Dayquil talking to you. But anyway, we are now allowed to sell these. So basically what Fender's doing is they're coming out with a new Player Series 2.
Yes.
There's going to be some upgraded thises and that's to it. As we get more details, we will fill you guys in. But like some of them are going to have rosewood fretboards again.
Yeah, like actual rosewood.
So like actual rosewood again, instead of Palfaro or Laurel or whatever they've been using, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's going to be some of the stuff. There's going to be some upgraded tuners and, bits and bobs.
Yeah.
Bobs and bits.
Yeah, basically just slight adjustments, but yeah, enough. I guess enough to warrant a new series.
Yes. And what's going to happen though too, I think what's happening is that Fender is kind of doing a bit of those upgrades. It's still going to be at the same map price as they were before at $7.99.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what they're doing is they're just kind of elevating stuff a little bit to get it
Or at least to get it more in line with where
the price point sits.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah,
But
or like the product.
it's also
reflecting
Fender. They
the
make
brand.
like a million guitars a year.
Yes.
And that's not like
That's not
just
an
an exaggerated
Yeah,
number. They
that's-
make
yeah.
a million guitars a year. And I wonder, where the fuck
No, we're good. I think we made it 2 minutes.
did we make
Yeah.
it to us? I'm like, where
Yeah, I think we're
where
okay.
do all those go? Where'd they go?
I wonder that too.
That is an
like,
incredible
yeah.
amount of instruments. And I mean, I know some people own several, because I think all of us own several.
Well,
So, like, but I just can't.
from what I've heard though, I might be wrong. From what I had heard, I thought Yamaha actually made those numbers look small, like worldwide. So
I
that's
wouldn't
why,
be
like,
surprised.
because I'm curious, like, if that is where Fender's at, and thinking that most of their business is probably United States and Europe, then like I wonder with Yamaha, who literally does represent almost the rest of the entire
globe, the
world.
globe.
Yeah. So I'm like, if that's the case, I wonder how much they actually make per year.
Well, Yamaha, I mean, acoustic wise, is everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, even electric, they sell. I think people forget with Yamaha that obviously they have the Rev Star, which is a great electric guitar, but the Pacificas, when they go from
Actually the Pro Pacificas are awesome. Like,
are really good guitars. Like,
yeah.
I don't think they get the acclaim or the
Notoriety and all that.
notoriety that they should get.
I bet you it's because it's never really, like, there hasn't, at least to my knowledge, because, like, the Rev Stars and some of the other, models from Yamaha do have a niche following within certain genres, but I would say, like, Yamaha as a whole has never had, like, an artist that just really hit, like, a super, because, I mean, even, like, Ibanez, like, the one, I was like, even with your picture of Satriani and Vi the other night, I'm like, that was, like, Ibanez night, and I'm like,
oh, it was definitely Ibanez.
Yeah, one, it was funny, and it was, like, having been to some more recent shows, like, especially, like, I've been surprised, like, overwhelmingly, and Sam and I were actually talking about this, overwhelmingly in, like, the death metal camp these days, Jackson is king. And I was surprised by that. Like, Jacksons are everywhere. Like, you go to a death metal show, it's mostly Jacksons now. And I was pretty surprised by that, because it's like, to me, they, for the longest time, a lot of people thought of them, I think, more for the, obviously the 80s shredder stuff.
More shred
But
guys,
now that they're doing, like, these heavier, they're doing baritones and 7 strings and stuff like that, I think more people are kind of opening up to those again. So it's kind of been interesting to see, like, where certain brands are ending up right now.
And Jackson obviously Jackson falls into the Fender family. But man, those are good guitars. The ones we get in are really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're playing in that genre and it fits your style, I think they're pretty killer.
Yeah.
Same thing with Yamaha though. Like the Pacifica is the high end. The basses are great. I mean, Billy Sheehan has been a lifelong Yamaha bass guy.
That's true. Yeah.
And he's top tier bass. I mean, he's not.
Well, yeah, anybody that can keep
player.
up with Gilbert is,
He's top tier. So that's pretty awesome as far as the Yamaha stuff. And if they are dwarfing Fender, it's an amazing amount of guitars.
Yeah, no, that's why I wonder
where
what
are
their
all
numbers.
these damn things going?
Yeah, well,
I mean, there's a lot.
I don't have
I bet you there's a lot of throwaway stuff.
Well, there probably is. I also don't feel like I have a good assessment of, like, guitar in the rest of the world. Because, I mean, like, in the States and within Europe, you can get a pretty good sense of it via, social media and YouTube and all that. And tours, like the bands that tour certain places. Because, like, it is funny now, like, world tour, and it's just, like, the States and Europe. It's like, that's that part always gets me. It's like, it's kind of, where it's like, there's a few bands that can kind of.
Multi-continent. Tour.
Well, that or even bands that do have more presence. Well, even like you were Billy Sheehan, like he's been in tons of bands that have done actually better in Japan than they ever did in the States.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like stuff like that where I can see like that makes sense that he would go that route. And I know at different times Paul Gilbert was playing a lot of the Japanese brands too. So it's like it does make sense, but I just find it weird that like the Yamaha's never found a particular artist that ever got to like superstar status that made other people be like, oh yeah, I'm take Yamaha really seriously.
And they make great stuff.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like a kind of amazing, like what you get on the low end guitar side of things from Yamaha is pretty amazing.
Well, it is, like, especially like when they do something for a series. I like the consistency that they have. Like they'll do it from the lowest model to the top model most of the time. So like the Rev Stars, like the chambering that they do, and like the five-way switch for the humbucker model, like that they do that from the top all the way to the bottom, and it's like I think that's pretty cool because that way somebody can get an entry-level model but also feel like they're getting something that is roughly comparable to to the higher end one. So that's the hardest part. Like when you get certain brands, you're like, if you get the budget one, sometimes it just feels like you're getting a cheap imitation.
It's definitely the low cash version.
Yeah, whereas I feel like the Rev Stars, it's like we have a lot of dudes that play really high end stuff, but they'll also pick up a Rev Star and be like, oh yeah, I could play this. And
easy. But even the lower end Pacifica stuff, once it's set up properly, that stuff plays really well.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes up against any of your brands that are in. It's probably better than a lot of the brands that are in that price point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but we got there from the million Fender guitar.
Yeah, it ended
I
up
don't-
talking about Yamaha, but yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the
I
main
don't
thing.
understand how we got there,
It
but
was still, it was a good conversation because, like I said, I don't personally have a good assessment of like what is like what is guitar like, or what's the state of guitar like in China. Like I really don't know. I mean, like, yeah, we get little glimpses, but like I have no idea, like per capita, what's their ratio of.
the trade magazines, like if you read the numbers in the trade magazines, like that stuff, you kind of go, wow, there are numbers, it just blows me away. Like how much gear is made.
Yes.
And it just doesn't seem like in our everyday life, we meet a lot of people that are guitar players or musicians because that's kind of what we do. But like before,
Oh, you mean as a whole, yeah.
like but before I was in the industry, I mean, I didn't run into nearly as many musicians. I mean, obviously now it's because our world is kind of this.
Yeah.
What we do as hobbies and what we do in work is
It's a lot of the same
shit,
yeah,
really. So, but when I kind of wasn't deep into like the musical world, as far as business wise, I had musician friends, but it wasn't like an overwhelming abundance of them. Does that
Yeah, it
make
wasn't
sense?
where
Like, I've
most
always
of your
had musician
yeah,
friends.
yeah. I see what you're saying. Like now your social group is also overwhelmingly
Like mostly everybody I know
musician. Yeah,
is a guitar player, bass player, drummer, singer, or artist or of some sort. It's
yeah.
you
No, I know what you mean because like even with like graphic artists too, and like photographers, like but most of those people I also know through other people that are musicians. So
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Where when I wasn't, there was certainly a percentage of people that I've always known that were musicians.
Yeah.
So I worked in restaurants, so a lot of people played. There was
sense,
other
yeah.
guitar players, drummers, bass players, and stuff like that. But it was maybe 20%,
Yeah, like 1 out of 5.
25% of my people I knew.
Right.
So that's a lot that weren't. Mm-hmm. And now it's probably the opposite. But it's still like that. I mean, that's a shit ton of people. Mm-hmm. Where else all this damn gear going? It just, I don't know. I guess it blows my mind. Like, where's it all going?
Well, no, yeah, and I mean, I do always wonder, like, too, how many people, because like we do get starters now of all varieties in terms of ages, which is what I would say. Like, I'm sure for certain eras, it was there was certain age groups that were more. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if I couldn't tell if that was a car or a jet. But yeah, I'm sure. Like for certain eras, there was definitely age groups where there was an abundance of certain players starting, and that was the focus. Nowadays, that's like again, like even in a worldwide scenario, it's like, are they still focusing more on kids outside of the United States when it comes to trying to get more kids started playing, or is it like it is stateside where you have like the market that's catering towards the collectors, which is like all the dudes that are buying these multi-$1,000 guitars that probably aren't getting played out as much. But then you have the other market that we're a little bit more in, where it's like more of like where players can afford to actually buy them, and like because like I get like you're saying, I get a good assessment of what things are locally, but yeah, globally it's really hard to figure out what that would really look like, and especially when you think of certain brands like Fender, it's like how many out of the million. It's like, what is 750,000 stateside, or less than half of that, or yeah, it's like it's hard to yeah.
Anyway, these are on sale.
Yes, yeah.
The whole thing was, these are on sale, so pick up. And the Player Series stuff is good. I have more than one Player Series Fender in my collection. Arsenal would probably be a better word.
Yeah, it's reached Arsenal status.
Collection sounds like douchey.
Yeah, that does. Yeah.
Arsenal sounds like we got things to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're in the market for a Player Series, get them now, because they're gonna probably sell fairly quick. I mean,
yeah,
$679 is a great deal.
A lot of places that have them obviously will be moving them at the same price, but it's if you're gonna get one, now is the time. That's for sure.
And when you get it from us, we can ship it. We'll ship it for free,
and it will be
set up. And we did do check with it.
Yeah,
we have a full check that we looked at.
Yeah, whole big check. But it's like, no, we actually do check the thing before it leaves. Like, we're not, like, not kidding aside.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the other thing in guitar news was the Sam Ash closing their, or the Sam Ash, I don't know why I said it that way, but Sam Ash closing down their
The Sam Ash.
The Sam Ash.
The Sam Ash.
The Sam Ash. But yeah, them closing whatever. I can't talk today. Sam Ash closing up their physical locations.
Yes, all their retail locations.
Yeah, so that was interesting. Jacob said he thought it was because the founder, Samuel Ashford IV, ended up. Did you say passed away or he just retired? Okay.
Yeah, Sammy Ash passed away about 6 months ago or so.
Oh, okay. I did not realize that. So yeah,
He
apparently he was the main push to keep the physical store. So and that was another thing like I was not really aware of. So that is kind of sad, but it's also like you can kind of see if he was a little more old school. Like I can see that.
I mean, that's what I didn't. That's what Jacob said he heard or read somewhere.
It sounds plausible. It's
Certainly.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, a big thing is that it's cheaper to run a web store. It really is. You got a warehouse with some dudes that put shit in boxes, and you have maybe a few people calling and doing the salesman-y thing. You know what I mean? That's going to be cheaper than keeping your doors open from 10 in the morning until 7 or 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just going to be, it's more expensive to run a brick and mortar store than it is to run a web store.
Yeah.
You know, so it just depends on what your business model is and what you want to do and how you want to do
Well,
it.
and it'll allow them the opportunity too to not only can they liquidate any real estate that they have with this shit, but they can then move to like unincorporated counties, pay less taxes on the warehouse that they're going to store all the stuff in.
Yeah,
so like
they can make moves on the business side that you
Yeah.
can't make in your physical location.
Yeah.
Because you have to pay.
Yeah, you have to be in a good spot, which means you'd have to be in a city with normal tax rates and everything else that comes along with being in a city,
Yeah.
like non-square signs and other bullshit.
Regulations for nonsensical horse shit and floodplains.
Yeah.
That's a new thing that we're having to deal with here. We'll save that for another day.
Yeah.
I don't have enough.
Yeah.
There's no blood pressure left to go through that conversation.
Yes.
But yeah, so also I was reading an article, and they said basically even a well-stocked retail location is going to have 7,000 or 8,000 SKUs. So if you guys don't know what a SKU is a stock keeping unit, and basically everything has a SKU. This has got a SKU, this has got a SKU, so everything has like a part number, essentially.
Yeah, and it can either be provided by the manufacturer or the retailer.
Or the
There's usually
retailer.
both. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes the retailer has their own numbers to track things, and then the manufacturer has their numbers to track them. Usually, like for us, it's just easier to know to use the manufacturer one because that way you could be cross-referenced, and if customers have references, is this part number, we can say yes. Yeah. But they're kind of saying like, a well-stocked store is going to have 7,000 to 8,000 SKUs, which is considerable. Mm-hmm. A web store can have much more to that. Much more than that.
Yeah, especially
because
if they can drop ship and have other connected inventories and.
I think they were saying something like there's a store in Indiana which we'll name unmentioned, starts with shit, and that they have like 60,000
maybe that's
SKUs
going on
or
with
something.
all the Frank beards. Maybe something's going on out that way. I hadn't thought of that. Sorry, we got an order for like 9 Frank beards this morning. So.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Well, he brought up a clinic earlier, and I was like, oh, well, that's not a terrible consideration.
Yeah. Okay, sure. But big stores have thousands, tens of thousands SKUs. So just let's put this into perspective for us. Like the amount of space we have here, we have our warehouse, which is about half of our overall space for the building. And we have a fair amount of SKUs. I don't think we have 8,000, but we're probably in the 5 to 6 range.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say, I thought 5-ish for sure.
Yeah, so we're fairly stocked for a small store. Mm-hmm. But if we said F it, keep the doors closed, we all could get Saturday and Sunday off, and we could just come in and ship stuff. We could
do this shit and ship stuff. Yeah.
We could literally do this kind of stuff, do content creation, and then all of the front showroom
turn back.
And even this would turn into warehouse. Mm. So how many more SKUs could we get? You see what I'm saying? Like we could have a whole rack full of keyboards, and there's 100 more SKUs. We could do whatever pedal companies, You could just add all the
Modular stuff, like whatever.
you could
we-
add
yeah,
all
yeah.
the extra things in the space we already exist.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, you could increase the size of your store technically online and have more offerings for customers. So, I mean, I get it. But, you know, our mentality is kind of like we want to have a resource here in Denver for musicians that are looking for the things that we sell.
Well, yeah, because like that's the part I'm having a hard time. Like, while parts of it sound appealing, and like yes, there are frustrations that definitely come along with like a brick and mortar store, but I'm having a hard time like imagining. Because like for me, like it is fun when we have like there's certain customers to me that are very fun and they're a very good reminder of like why we even want to do a lot of this stuff. And so it's like to me, it's like that's the part I feel like would be hard to keep that part up. And I don't know
think
what
you're
you
going
would.
to have a community.
Yeah, I don't know
have
what
the
you
same
would
kind of
call
sense
that.
of community
Right.
with your store if you're just literally a warehouse, because who rallies around
Right.
a warehouse?
Well, and
See,
that's what I'm saying. Like that to me, that would be a huge chunk of it. That I'm like that. That seems like that would be really hard. You wouldn't be able to really build it with that. But like you're saying, there wouldn't be anything to really gather around. Because like now we do have a lot of dudes that like they show up on the weekends to hang out, but they're also very helpful when they're here.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a lot of that stuff, and it's like it's also one of those things like you've said before too. Like when people are here, they're hanging out. It's just a good vibe. Like it's a lot better environment.
If you're going to go hang out somewhere,
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I mean,
this
it's
isn't a bad spot. There's a lot of
yeah.
dick jokes and goofy shit going on.
Yeah. Well, and if it's
know?
all the stuff, like you say, you're bound to run into people you either know or would want to know. So it's like it already narrows down your social,
Yeah.
you like the field is already like this small. So you're like, all right, these are my people. So it's just a little easier, but that's the part of it I feel like would be really hard to,
You're not
keep
going to
up.
replicate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to replicate it. Now, the thing is, I think a good approach is similar to the, place that remains unmentioned.
Yeah.
I think would be like, just have one store.
Yeah.
Like, have one store and that's your flagship. I mean, here's a prime example, Chicago Music Exchange. We've all heard of it, yeah? It's a good store. It's a big store. They do their thing. But it's one store, and they do a massive amount of web business. And so, but that they still can rally around a location. So you can have a certain amount of people at one location. I think that is maybe where things may be, is there's cool stores.
A hybrid. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hybrid situation where you have a physical location, but it's probably bigger than you think.
Right.
On the
On the back end.
It's like a TARDIS.
Yeah.
Sort of. Like a Doctor Who thing. You walk in and you're like, oh, it's bigger on the inside. But it's really the business is bigger on the inside than what it really seems like from the outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you have worldwide reach, or, I think about Andertons in the UK. I mean, they have a huge reach. Their store itself isn't very big.
Right.
From what I understand. I've never been to.
Well, no, I mean, from what I understand in England, like nothing can be. I mean, just with with where they're located, like they're about as big as they physically can be, and that's they've expanded a shit ton.
Right, and the thing is, but they have probably a huge warehouse.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
where they do the videos and all the things. But that's
But
I think that's where the future of what we're going to see is that you're going to have these physical locations, which would be like destinations, and I think it'd be cool. And then you also have the online business, which is really is a large portion. So I mean, companies like Guitar Center. I mean, how much longer are they going to hold out? It just seems because all the chains are falling.
Yeah.
I mean, and plus there's huge competition out there with the Amazons and all the other shit. You know?
But no, I see what you're saying. Like a lot of the chain stuff, the lack of focus is also becoming an issue. Because like that is, I mean, that's definitely something that's hit like our local G's. Like we used to have, 5 or 6 of them. Now we've got 2, and to be honest, they're not. I mean, whatever. They're a lot of the guys that work there.
That work there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, we have people like we have friends that work. So it's like it's whatever, but it's like they're not nearly even as good as they were 10 years ago. And like that, people were complaining about that.
Yeah,
then,
and they were
so.
trash then.
Yeah, so that's the thing of like GCs. Like I feel like it really is like even if they would learn to just consolidate, like they probably would have a better shot at.
I think they're trying to do. I mean, I think part of it is. I mean, the musician's friend portion of GC.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like
Well, it's probably fronting the bill for the whole thing now at this point. I mean,
probably. I bet there's less cost.
yeah.
You know, but you got to remember with franchising, there is franchise fees they pay in. You know, to the mother company, if you will. You know, so there's. I don't know. We're in an interesting time with this stuff, and with the internet and with the social media and all that stuff, it becomes an interesting industry.
Well, it is because I find too. Now, granted, we are in a store, so there's gonna be more people that say these things, but there are so many musicians that still refuse to buy stuff online, or at least guitars, or like the main, the core pieces of their
But
rig.
there's less and less every year.
There is, and you're right, but it's one of those things where like I am curious like how long that will hold out, because it seems like those people are kind of getting forced, depending, because it's like even with us, like we can't carry everything here, obviously.
Right.
So it's like I do appreciate the guys though that come in and like they'll play something that's approximate to what they want, and then they'll order the one specifically that they want from us. Like I really do appreciate those.
Yeah.
But at least the same premise is there, that they want to at least get an idea of what it feels like before they pull a trigger one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And like that part of it I definitely very much get too, because I think most of us all tend to, we don't really buy anything with, I don't want to say without forethought, but most of us don't anymore. I don't think any of us look at any guitar thinking like, hey, I want to get that. It's more like most of the time we're stumbling into one that happened to come through the door.
I was just going to say that. Like, or we're just going to wait until something used comes in.
Right.
And then we go, wow. Well, we've done that with pedal companies. Mm-hmm. We've gotten a number of jam pedals, and we're like, those are cool.
Really good.
Why are we not carrying this?
Yeah.
And I mean, that has put us into a few different brands where we're just like, there's something here.
Yeah.
You know, but not everybody's going to do that.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, yeah, no, and it does bring up a lot of good topics for discussion in terms of how the industry is evolving. Because
Very interesting.
yeah, well, because it's interesting because like when it comes down to it, yeah, there's a lot of people obviously that play from home, but a lot of the intended purpose of a lot of this stuff is to get out in front of people.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the whole thing with like what we do. It's a weird dynamic that's going on right now, is like the focus is to get out there with things that you're going to use in person in front of people, but then the element to get those things to you is becoming less about dealing with people. You know what I mean? Like that's the part
I see
of
what
it.
you're
Yeah.
saying.
Like
it's just that
yeah.
there's more people that are buying these things to never go play in front of anybody.
Oh, I know that. I'm just saying that ultimately, and a lot of our customers, a lot of us, like the goal is to eventually, whether it's playing with friends or actually playing out in front of people, like the goal is still to do something with other people.
Yeah.
And like to me, that's
Which is where a lot of the fun is. I mean,
right, and that's
honestly,
where I find it interesting that that more and more of the purchasing part of it is becoming less about dealing with people, which, like I said, to me, it's kind of on the opposite side of it, because like a lot of times,
should
especially
be
when
a
it
little
comes
more
to
social.
well, yeah, and I would say like especially with the pedals and stuff too, like that's a big part of what we do here is like getting more opinions or hearing more people play things is eye-opening to things that, because like otherwise we'd all be left to our own individual opinions about shit, and that would be really narrow when it comes to pedals. Because like there's a lot of pedals that like I don't, I might not like it that much, but when I hear one of you guys use it, it's great.
You go,
or vice versa.
That works for it works for a thing you do.
Yeah, or vice
You
versa.
guys do that all the time with the super spacey stuff.
Yeah.
You guys like the spacey thing. Well,
Yeah, we all kind of, we all dabble into that shit.
I'm less into all that extra stuff, but I go, that's freaking, Eric's putting something on, or even Gordo. I go, wow, that's super cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it was just up to me, I'd be like, I don't.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like to me, like a big part of having a physical store is also opening up ideas or being opened up to ideas, or even
agree.
companies and all that stuff. But yeah, let's.
Sorry, we'll just keep chatting on that stuff. I don't know what time it is. So.
4:30.
Oh, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Us bullshitting for a half hour. So yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the folks that are in here know to just skip to the 4:30 mark.
Yeah.
Or people that are coming later. But let's say hello to who's in here. Obviously, we saw Dastardly Dave. Eric Lutinger's in here. Doug is in here. Who else is in here? Janice Lala is in here. What's happening, Janice?
Oh, we got Gary Redburn.
Gary Redburn is just up the street. He's over at Texas Toast this week. I just saw him this morning.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And I brought shirts because he wanted a shirt, and then
Oh, we got Steven.
I effed it up because I was a size too. It was a size too small on the shirt, so I got to go through and see what we got in a different size. What those guys picked up.
I thought you were gonna say it was like aspirational or something like.
What?
I thought that was the size he wanted to get into eventually.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't that.
Yeah.
I think Gary's like, yeah. No.
Yeah.
I need
Okay,
this. But yeah, I just picked the wrong. I picked the wrong sizes, so I wasn't.
That happened.
Cough medicine, man. A lot of cough medicine this week.
He's like, I'm totally delirious. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
I've been floating around the whole week, just hey. It's been hysterical though. It's been pretty funny.
Yeah, the joke generator's
good-
been on like full tilt.
Yeah. Well, being home last week and then coming in and being hopped up on cough medicine has been. I got a whole 2-hour special for the HBO coming up.
He's like, I'm
tonight.
working out all my new
I'm
material.
working on my new material. I'm knocking them dead in here. Don't worry, the 3:30 crowd is gonna fucking get blasted with some good jokes. Right, the midday brunch crowd. We gotta go in at 3:30 so we can be in bed by 7.
God,
That's only if we're
that's
in-
still like, I know you're joking about it, but like even just somebody saying that, because like hearing people say that, it's terrifying.
That's how it is in Del Boca Vista.
I know.
Down in Florida.
Horrible.
I gotta get to the early bird at 3:30. That's a late lunch. It's not dinner.
All right, so yeah, we'll roll into testing stuff. Today is basically just jam pedals part 2 because we
Jammy 2.
Yeah, last time we did jam pedals, we ended up actually selling out of a lot of them before we were able to do the stream. So this time we're going to be doing the Harmonious Monk Tremolo, the Fuzz Face, and the Ripley Fall, which is like a phaser chorus combo. I'm trying to remember if...
Well, we were sold out of this stuff, that's why. Right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, these were like the 3 that people I think were somewhat curious about that we were out of the lot. Because last time I think we did the Vibe, the Delay, and one of the Overdrives maybe. So yeah, this time we're basically doing a part 2 since we finally got these ones back in.
It's pronounced de.
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 De. Toi.
So good. It's like the boss.
Speaking of which, it's funny because like just a couple minutes ago, I think Goots was like testing it because James brought it in. The the TW one, yeah, the twat one pedal.
Sorry, excuse me. Hope I didn't blow everybody's ears out. So let's throw this on. You can hear what this fine telly sounds like.
Yeah, let's make sure I don't have anything else on. Okay, I think so.
Yeah, that's good. Turning it on.
I need to come up.
Nice, sounds
Actually,
pretty
sounds
good.
Yeah. And then did you want to start with the trem or the fuzz? Oops. Well, I mean, eventually it'll be both. You have a preference?
Harmonious.
Okay.
Harmonious.
There we go. I think that's the depth. Yeah. forgot too. I think the Harmonious Monk has internal trim pots, if I remember right. I didn't end up. Obviously, we didn't end up tweaking those, so it should still be stock. It's actually really nice though. I don't know if it ramps. Does it ramp? Yeah, it does ramp. Cool.
Ramper.
Oh, it's a one-way ramp though. So yeah, one-way ramp. That sounds good though. So we went triangle
Something
wave,
like that.
I think sine wave, and then yeah. There's the wave shape. So the square wave's a little choppier. I like that though. It's a little more that sounds really good.
It almost sounds like I was walking down the street one day. That's
Oh yeah.
get mad.
Spill the wine.
I'm gonna have to learn that one to make up the words
Yeah.
again, like last time.
Yeah, which is actually gonna be. Well, I wouldn't say it's fitting necessarily now, but it's still funny. Remind me to tell you that story when we're off the. Yeah. Actually, sounds really nice. I mean, honestly, it's one of those ones. Cause I knew Goots has always kind of been raving about this particular one. I think he still likes his Hydra just a little bit more because it does presets and all that. But in terms of a harmonic trim, this one is really, really good.
I think this one sounds less digital than the Hydra. Hydra sound is good, but it's like this
one does
sounds
sound
more analog-y, warmy.
Yeah.
That you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
At least to me, it's got that warmer. It's got a warmer feel. Not that the other one does.
Well, yeah, no, this one almost is kind of getting. It's almost dipping into like univibe type tones.
It's kind of almost there, but it has that same. There's a bit of that same warmth in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice. Like just a little delay. Just give it a little space. Oh, was somebody asking about the reverb on the? Okay. Yeah, it's just a little bit of spring reverb from the Volante, which is like right there. Just so it doesn't sound completely dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
That was on the neck pickup.
I guess I'll try switching. I think that switches it into the analog mode versus harmonic mode, so this should be a little choppier. Yeah, that one definitely kind of loses some of the swoosh, but it's it's a little more
Yeah, it's a little choppier though too. Like,
yeah, that initial. Yeah, that sounds good. Honestly, I don't know. Like out of all the trims we've tried recently, I personally do really like this one probably the most so far.
I'm not a big trim fan.
I'm not either, but like if you were
this is
gonna,
kinda like,
if you
I'm
wanted to
having
hit
fun with
that
it.
sweet spot between like trem and unibot, like this, a lot of harmonic trims usually can kind of hit that spot, but this one I feel like is doing a particularly good job of that. But yeah. I wonder if we give it just a little push.
And so it begins.
Yeah, shit. Sorry. that was the wrong
Clipping.
one. All right.
Clipping.
There we go. It was getting a little close. Yeah. Yeah, just I guess the consistency of it too is nice.
That's a
'Cause, like
great,
sometimes,
that's a great sounding pedal.
yeah, because I would say sometimes with trims, I feel like there's certain times where like you can, you'll mix it to a point where like you stop hearing it because you don't want it to get too choppy, but then you're kind of losing some of it. This one I feel like does hit more of that univibe where you're hearing, you can kind of play off of the
Yeah,
the
waves.
yeah, a bit more, which is nice.
I like that. I really like that. And I don't,
Yeah, I think that was really nice.
like I said, I think it's got really nice warmth to it.
Yeah. I'll give it a-
Yeah, I mean, it sounds very univibey.
Yeah. Yeah, girl.
You know what we should do? We need to hook up all of our vintage gear one day.
Yeah.
Just do all the vintage showcase stuff.
Yeah, it really does that well.
I mean, you can do the machine gun thing on there. That would work.
Yeah, it really is nice.
sound's coming through. But man, I think that sounds really killer.
That is really good.
Yeah, like that. Like, you know, if I was used, I would buy one, like, right now. Shameless sales pitch. That's where it's like, shameless sales pitch. Yeah, that one definitely cranks up on my, that's a killer fucking pedal list. What do you guys think? Any questions? You want us to, Hey,
Yeah.
Ryan's in here. Hey, Tim's
Oh,
in
cool.
here.
Ryan's in there. Cool. Hey, Ryan. Oh, and Tim White. Hey, Tim. We've got all kinds of people showing up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, Great Vanzini, is that who I see in there? Yeah, Vanzini's in here too.
Nice.
Yeah, we haven't seen Vanzini in a while. Good to see you, man. Awesome.
All right. Fuzz time.
Ryan said his last few students are out tonight drinking and doing drugs or something.
I think you might have your
Probably.
wrong. Oh.
Probably not. I'm just making that up.
Just destroying downtown Canton.
Downtown Canton,
Yeah.
kicking up all the dust and such. Make sure we're...
Yeah, I was gonna say we tend to warm up the guitars as we're playing them. So.
And they've been stretching strings and such.
Yes.
Dr. Sound is wondering what the switches do.
Which switches?
Oh, so this is your wave shape?
Oh.
Yeah, so on the Harmonious Monk, the bottom one's your wave shape, and I believe this toggle goes from analog trem to harmonic trem. Analog trem would just be more like the standard like chop, whereas the harmonics is kind of getting a little more of that univibe swirl in there. And were there internal trim pots? Did you end up seeing that?
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. I knew there was. I just wanted to let people know that like we didn't tweak it at all. It's the way
That
it
came out of the
arrived
box,
stocked.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like because there's some internal tweaks because you can. I believe you can do like an overall master volume. You can do like a bass and treble control. I believe
There's an EQ section.
an EQ set. Yeah. So like I know you can do a lot with it, which is pretty cool. In this circumstance, it's one of those times where I wish they would have like drilled out holes in the back of the back plate so that you could at least tweak
Stick a
them.
screwdriver in
Yeah,
there.
just so you could tweak them because like some companies are starting to do that, and I really do. Like Bogner does that now, and I'm like I really appreciate that because like it is nice to not have to rip apart your shit to get to like one thing.
It's good, but I think I'm gonna give a con to that.
Beer.
Dust and
Oh.
beer and shite
Yeah.
getting in your pedal, possibly in and out of the car, in and out of a bore, depending on what you do. You know, dog hair,
Yeah.
cat hair. You know, in a bar.
Yeah.
God knows what kind of hair is on the stage.
I feel like the. Yeah.
Who knows? So, good idea. I get it. If they put a little plastic,
Oh, a little
you
stopper.
one, like a little, give you a stopper.
That or even better yet, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, do it dark glass style. Do a little flip compartment so that you can just like all you need is just flip it open and they're right there and you can adjust them with your fingernail. That's the move.
That's a thing too.
That's the move. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like I like the idea of being able to have access, but
Well, and
we
I
know.
think-
I mean, look at all the stuff that comes through here sometimes, and we're like, what happened
Oh yes.
to
Yeah.
this pedal,
Yes.
or what happened to
What
this
horrible
guitar?
life did this thing
Yeah,
have
what
before?
happened?
Yeah.
Did
yeah.
you get in a? Were you in a flood?
Yeah.
What happened?
Were you trying to reconstitute some kind of animal in here?
What is this? Is this an experiment that went wrong? Why? Anyway,
Yes. All right.
that's that. Okay, so
Alright, Fuzz
Tim
time.
White asks, what is the pedal with the VW bus on it? That is the Fuzz phrase.
Fuzz phrase.
Fuzz phrase.
And I believe this is the silicone one, so it has like the SI on it.
Oh, yeah, that's the Fuzz. This is the new one.
Yes.
Yeah, just came out recently.
Yes, recently. All right. fuzz face, actually, it is a little crisp. Yeah. Are you on the bridge? Yeah.
I am on the bridge.
Okay. I know, that's what I'm saying. I will say it's very quiet in between your.
Yeah, it's not.
Very quiet.
It's not noisy
Yeah.
as much as you.
Which means I bet it would stack well. Fuzz Stackwell.
you
There's a name.
oh, that's
Fuzz Stackwell.
Mr. Fuzz Stackwell.
That actually sounds pretty good with chords because like a lot of fuzz faces get pretty mushy.
There's a clarity to it
Yeah.
that I really like. I mean, where are we on the gain side? Of
All
this?
the way up where it belongs.
Is it?
Yeah.
At 10. Duh.
Well, it was a fuzz face, so I was assuming it would be volume, volume controlled.
Volume driven.
Yeah,
And
cleans
it
up.
cleans up.
That's usually the main question for a fuzz face is does it clean up with the volume? Yeah, that's pretty good.
I think it sounds good.
We are super short on time, so we're only gonna have like a small second for this, but
Oh, yeah, that's because we.
yeah, it's okay.
It's because we were chewing the fat.
Yeah.
That stuff.
Time's just been cooking today.
It is. All day.
Oh, one of Sam's customers was Scottish, and I talked to him about Still Game for a few minutes the other day. It was pretty great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was he glad that you
Yeah,
were
well,
like,
it's amazing like how happy they get when you're like, oh my god, you know Still Game. Yeah. But it was pretty funny. It was good talking to. I guess he bought he had like a collector's pack of all the little things like you.
Oh, really?
Kind of like, yeah, it was like a little pack of different things. But he said the iron brew was weird because it was like solid, so it's made to look like it's, but it's like solid. Yeah, it was. pretty
Iron
funny,
Brew is like, it's a different flavor.
yeah. It is. It's
I'll
very,
get some.
very.
If you
yeah.
want, I'll get us some meat pies, some English beans, and Iron Brew.
Go full.
And we'll
Still
have
Game.
we'll go full Scottish for one day, or full Still Game for a day. I'm sorry. I did have a breakfast burrito, a chorizo burrito this morning. I didn't realize that was going to happen.
Do you remember Gooch's breakdown on this one? That's just the noon settings, but
That goes back to
Yeah.
our. That's what this for Gordo.
oh. S and That's actually really cool, though. That's really cool, right there.
It's a chorus vibrato.
Well, no, I knew that. I just meant like the control. I wasn't like S and D. I wasn't sure if it's like speed, and depth, maybe. I should have looked it up before we came out here, but that's what I'm saying. Like it has a weird kooky, like that's a weird kooky chorus tone, like your vibrato tone. Yeah, so there's more chorus. I think
It's
that's
almost
vibrato.
harpsichordy.
Yeah. That's a really cool sound though, like. triples the speed.
Waterfall.
Okay. Okay. Then it's more phasery without that. Okay.
This is
This thing's actually really
sick
cool.
pedal.
Yeah, this is really cool. I love that though. 2 minutes? Okay. Oh man. Yeah. Honestly, I gotta give it to Jam. Like, I don't think we've plugged in anything yet that hasn't been
Well, it's got an
outstanding.
expression pedal.
Yeah, I don't think we've plugged in anything that hasn't been outstanding so far. 'Cause, like, that's pretty, like, that goes together is great.
Is that supposed to be Jimmy in there?
Yes.
Kinda?
Yeah, Jimmy.
So let's
Yes.
go.
Jimmy the Jam Driver. That is really cool. All right.
Take a bunch of drugs, pit kids, and buy this pedal.
Yes.
You won't leave the house
You're
for
like
a
one
week. Your
starter's
parents
kit
will
of
know
drugs.
your parents will know where you are. Tell your parents you need this pedal.
Yeah, there you go. At least, yeah, they'll know at least when you're tripping at home.
Yeah, you're at home. There he is. Oh, Ripley Fall again. Ripley Fall's hanging out with, what was the other guy? Fuzz Longfella?
Fuzz Stackwell.
That's right.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Ah,
Fuzz Stackwell and Ripley Fall.
it's like Sherlock Holmes and, Dr. Watson.
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of deal. All right, we're probably over, right?
We're right at time pretty much.
All right. Well, hey guys, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. This one flew by.
It did. Yeah, it
You
went
know,
really fast.
Yeah, well, we shot the shit for a while, but anyway, I think it was a good conversation, and hopefully you guys got a little bit of a taste of these jam pedals. If you have an opportunity, if you're in the Denver area, come and see us. Try one of these things out. These things are rad. Everything we've gotten from Jam has been really, really cool. If you're not from here and you're looking for something cool, 24/7, our website's available. Also,
Yes. Another reminder about the Fenders being on
Fenders
sale.
on sale, $679 for your Player Series. I think the Jazz Masters are like $709, but I think we only got one left in stock. Anyway, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was fun.
Go check out our friends over at Texas Toast Guitars. They're going to do a live thing. They're probably a reveal. The guys are there with a bunch of dudes doing a class this week, and then after that, go talk Dylan, talk Tone, and catch you guys on the flip side.
Yeah. All right.